You ready, weirdos? Your long-awaited Wagon Grand Tour? I know I am. Okay, we're gonna go through the features on this fifth wheel that are the reason I bought it. Then all the reasons those features are now null and void because things have changed as I've moved in and I've looked at how things are built, and like my original idea is not very practical. It doesn't matter. I still am thrilled to death with this whole thing. I have to say, when you go through a period of time where you don't have life's little luxuries like plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and then when it maybe gets worse because you're in the car, it's just every day that I'm in here still is like, I'm like when caveman discovered fire on everything. Like when the water comes on, I'm like, oh God, there's water, it's electric. And sometimes if I wait forever, the water heater will heat it up warm enough to where it feels hot. Or I mean the microwave, like everything is so exciting just because I haven't had a lot of this stuff in almost a year now. So every day is still great in here. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. But okay, so the reason why I got it, why those reasons are not really going to work anymore. And then all these little things that I've noticed as I'm moving in that I think will be practical tips to help you preserve and maintain your rig. And then how a lot of this is going to change completely and like my bigger vision for the whole thing. I'm feeling a little flash dancey today. See this? The clothing situation is still dire. I think I said in my last video that rats got into my storage unit and shit all over the very last of my clothes. So it's still going to be ragamuffin for quite a while until I go shopping. I hate clothes shopping. I want to get naked next to a bunch of women who I don't know with really poor overhead lighting in a tiny closet. I hate clothes shopping. I hate spending money on clothes. Ugh. Anyway, thanks for listening. Okay, but speaking of clothes, in honor of my hashtag van life former tribe, a tribe that I'm not a part of anymore, hashtag RV life people are way more low key. But because I do love the man bun crowd so much, to do this little tour through the Wagon, just like old times, guys, I'm going to put on my thinking bra. Because in any kind of hashtag van life video, everyone is pretty much naked, cutting up little tiny vegetables on a little tiny cutting board with the tits out, lots of ass shots, all that. So, I'm going to play along with that. So if someone could please cue the obnoxious club music. All right, so I'm feeling like we are ready to make a rig tour video. Hydrate. Okay, you ready? Let's do this. For starters, this, I'm not quite sure why they did this, but this is, so in this model, the 28BH Grand Design, the BH is bunkhouse. So this is where you would put all your little crotch goblins, all your ankle biters that you so desperately had to have and now complain about and blog about. They go back here, and then you wall them off with this door so that you don't have to see the things that you wanted so bad, okay? All right, so for me, since I know better and do not have children, this was where I was going to build my office, and this was a huge thing. Now, you have heard me talk about in all my videos, because I edit video for a living, I have to have an office. I have to have somewhere where I sit down, because when you edit video, you are sitting for hours and hours and hours thinking some really profound thoughts, right? The original vision, when I first walked into this room, I said, I'm gonna rip all this out and this is gonna be my office. And that was so great to me because I could shut this off and I could have an actual separation of space between where I live and where I work. You know, the van, it was really difficult editing for long hours in the van, kind of like crunched up like this. But if I was in there all day long, and then where was I going to go relax after work? Like 2 feet over, huh? So this was just my big vision, was that all this was going to come out, and I was going to make this big, beautiful office, and I was going to have monitors on the back. I just got my monitors. They're somewhere over here. And then I started to actually look into how this is constructed, and that's when my big vision kind of fell apart. Because, and I will move this over here, stand by. This is hard to see because this is kind of my dumping ground now for all my stuff. But underneath here, see, there's a vent right there. So there's ductwork right there. Now, I knew that when I bought this rig. I knew there was ductwork and it'd have to move. I didn't realize that the ductwork was coming up from the floor of the rig. So can that be moved? Yes, I can. Is it going to be easy to do? No, not at all. Back here in this corner is where the outside kitchen is. Now, I personally hate those outside kitchens. First of all, I don't cook really ever. I have a toaster oven, which is the only thing I need, and a kettle. So I'm not going to go like take all my food and all my plates and all that and then like drag it outside. I understand that some people do that so that your rig doesn't stink of food, but when you live in the South, cooking outside means giant mosquitoes, cockroaches, giant mosquitoes. I won't do it. So I think that the outside kitchens are kind of obnoxious. I could rip out the outside kitchen and then build out this as I want it, but I'm a little worried that that's going to affect resale value. When I buy something, I do consider resale value, but at the end of the day, I tend to do what I want anyway, because if you only do things based on resale value, you will never truly enjoy what you bought because you'll always be living in it for someone else down the road, maybe. This cabinet set was kind of the deal breaker for my big vision. All right, so this is kind of like the little ladder that your crotch goblins would crawl up to get into the upper bunks. It also happens to be the perfect size for my gear. So my gear fits in here absolutely perfect. I've got my tripods on the bottom. I can put all my thinking bras in here. And then up here, my idea was to get one of those big battery banks and put that up here and then put extension cords out so I could put just a giant charging station for all my gear, and then that way I'm not completely redoing the rig's electric work. And then these are, one of the things that I really like about fifth wheels above travel trailers is that because the whole mechanism is built on I-beams and like heavier duty materials, you can have real cabinets, like legit wood cabinets, not the plastic flimsy cabinets. So these are really nice cabinets, and this is already perfect, but the only way, because of the kitchen, that I could kind of make it work was that everything had to get ripped out, and I didn't want to mess with this. The current plan, until I know that I'm going to keep this rig for a very long time, and I tend to not keep anything, including men, for a very long time, but until I know that, I'm going to leave this as it is, because I really, really like this. And I'm going to use it as storage. I'm going to store all my gear back here. So get all my gear out of my way, get all my batteries out of my way, keep the battery and the docking station up here, and just kind of use this to keep my mess out of the way. If for some odd reason I agree to take one of my girlfriends in here, maybe move like a little space over for her. I'm getting kind of tired of wearing my thinking bra, so I'm going to take this off and let's move into the main room. This is one of the more common setups you will see in a fifth wheel. It is this weird U-shaped dinette thing. And a lot of people take this out because this is probably one of the easier things to take out. I have a different vision for this. So I eat standing up. There's no night in the world where I make a place setting and sit down and pinky up on my Coke Zero. It just doesn't happen. So what I do like to do here, because the TV is right across from it, is this is like Netflix and chill for me, by myself. Yeah? What I'm thinking of is rather than leave it as a table with a dinette, now right now I do all my work on it, but when that changes, when I finally get a desk in here, this table drops down. And then it creates a flat surface where, say, like another guest bed would be, because you don't have enough beds in this rig with the 8 in the back, right? So this drops down, and then you can use the pads on the back to fold in and make like one giant mattress, and there you go. Well, I won't ever use it for extra beds for extra people. However, because that's where I like to chill at the end of the night, I'm thinking of turning this into a very large day bed. Meaning, drop this down, then take all the different cushions and Velcro them together and like cover it in a nice thick material so it's sort of like a couch, like a giant couch that you can actually lay down in, and then get some really big oversized fluffy pillows, line the whole thing, get my soft blankets out, and just have that as like a place to just snuggle up and calm down after a day of meth or painting or construction or just driving in Wilmington traffic on any day of the week. So that's what I'm thinking, just like a really cool day bed right there, because I don't need it to eat and I won't need it to work. So I got to figure out how to attach all of those, but that is the vision for this place right here. Remember the teeny tiny refrigerator I had on the Babe Bus, which was fantastic. It was a truck fridge. It did a great job. I have no complaints about that, but I had to go grocery shopping every single day. This is the greatest thing that ever was. I am so thrilled to have a full-size refrigerator back. I don't even need all this space. It doesn't matter. I can actually go grocery shopping and store things. I can make more food and like have leftovers. It is wonderful. And it has the sacred vessel that I went a year without. It has a freezer. Oh, I can get ice cream. I'm telling you, just separate yourself from the things that you take for granted every day, and when you get them back, you will be thrilled to death. This, I don't use ice cubes ever, but these are, you put these down your toilet. Yes, you put them down your toilet. And they help clean out your black tank while you're driving. So those are very special ice cubes for the very big lay shitter. Alright, so this refrigerator, pretty standard for these rigs. It works on gas or electric. Right now I'm plugged in, so it's on electric. And as you can see, and as you can expect, one of the first things I did to take care of business when I moved in was to fill up every God blessed shelf with Coke Zero on both sides. On both sides, folks. Right here. Yeah. I know what's up. Alright, so the only thing about this that I'm going to address sooner rather than later is that so your stuff does not go flying all over the place, these shelves are very short, which means, come on now, you only have one place to put tall bottles like milk and other things, right? Right here. To get around that, you have to unscrew the side here. It's kind of like a lock, and then you can move these shelves around. So that's something that I have to do soon because it's really obnoxious not to be able to put anything tall. And then to get around that, I bought a whole bunch of these at Home Goods. They're dirt cheap, and you got to stack everything in there so it doesn't tip over. Now, something that I have seen on a lot of RV forums and kind of like chat roomy website stuff is this back here will start to freeze up. They'll get like the frost on it, and typically, and this happens in home refrigerators too, but that just means there's like a weak seal down here. If you take a line of Vaseline and just run it down the seal of your fridge, it will help seal the door so that doesn't happen, so no humidity gets in. Pro tip, they have included enough light in this rig to set Vegas ablaze. I mean, there are lights everywhere in here, underneath the cabinets, underneath the microwave. Do you need a light above the fridge? Because there's not one already in it when you open the door, right? Lights over here. This kind of hideous flat fixture, some of this stuff is going to get taken out. If I can figure out how to rig a chandelier up here or in the bedroom, I will be thrilled to death. Yes, it will make a ton of noise while I'm driving. No, I don't care because I'm not back here when it's driving. I just added these. I've not even taken them out of the plastic yet. Can you see all the way up there? So that is the vent for the fan. And those are foam pads that you shove up into the vent to keep your hot air from drafting out. And I will tell you that when you have ceilings that are this high, all your heat goes up there, no different than a house. So using a fan, I am constantly pointing the fan up at the ceiling to knock the heat back down to where I can actually feel it down here in under 5'2"ville. All right, let's talk about the kitchen. This kitchen is amazing. It has so much counter space that you would think that I actually cooked in it. All right, again, the cabinets are very, very nice. Now, I was going to repaint these cabinets. I do not like dark cabinets. I prefer really light white cabinets. I was going to paint these, and then I thought about how big of a pain in the ass it is to paint cabinets and decided against that. So for the time being, all I'm going to do is try to paint these handles because I hate silver. So I'm thinking like black or copper, probably black. Paint those, try to make it a little bit less obnoxious. And then this backsplash has got to go. And I've got an idea for what I want to do back here, but I got to get rid of this. These weird hard valances. No. I don't know why this is so such an old design, but these have got to go. Probably not real curtains behind the kitchen where they're going to get dirty. You will notice in all of my drawers, this is as close as you're going to get to seeing in my drawers, I have lined every single shelf in this rig. I did it in the kitchen, and I also did it over in the office. And that's because since everything is going to be sliding around and bumping into other things, it is going to scratch up the bottom of the cabinet. Whether you have a house or a rig, I don't care. Always line your cabinets, because once you like scratch up that paint or that wood, it makes the cabinet look shoddy. And these are really nice cabinets. Like, protect your investments. So I line those. I got to change out a couple things here, but even just like the countertops that you can get in a fifth wheel, in a travel trailer, they're those like plastic countertops because the whole thing has to be really light. This is like a legit solid countertop. I talk about how much I love tea all the time, Earl Grey tea specifically. So I went to Home Goods, and this was like one of the first things I did in here because I haven't had like an area to make tea in the morning since I lived in my house. I finally have my electric kettle back. I found these at Home Goods. They were dirt cheap. And I have a whole setup where in the morning, this is the first thing I do is come make an enormous cup of tea. I know that probably doesn't sound that exciting to you, but I can guarantee that you have a little creature comfort that is just a part of your daily routine. I love this so much. This is the greatest thing that ever was. I have all my favorite things on one tray. Everything. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So I'm telling you, when you are going to pick out your rig, like, think of these little tiny just treasures of your day that you don't want to live without and accommodate for them, because even if there are other things about this that I'm not that thrilled about, like the sheer terror of backing it up, I'm not trading this. I love this. It came with this fancy schmancy microwave / convection oven thing. I have never used the convection oven because I don't know how to use a convection oven. The only thing that I will tell you, and this is something that Michael and I are going to tackle, is that I have seen some RV owners who use their convection oven kind of heavily, and then they smell something burning. They take this off and they find out that there wasn't, I think it's called a reflection plate that reflects heat from the unit back off the wall. Like, that was never installed, and so the back of their wall is scorched. So before I ever use the convection oven on this, Michael and I have got to figure out if they installed that plate. So until then, it's straight up microwave. But it's really fun to have a microwave again. So in these big cabinets, I went and got all these little baskets to kind of organize and keep things from jumping around and breaking through the glass here. And I didn't think that like stuff would move around that much. I thought, I mean, come on, it's huge. How much could it fly? It flies. When I got back from Tampa, stuff was all over the place. So all these little baskets, and as I'm saying things, I know I'm going kind of quick, but I will put links to anything that was really helpful, so you don't have to go searching for it. Something like, let me see if I can find one. Where's a good example? Oh, here we go. Okay. Just by nature of the design of these, the cabinets, the handles tend to hit the glass or other cabinets, and you're going to scuff up your brand new rig really quick. So these are little itty bitty rubber clear, kind of like bumpers. And these are now all over the place in here so that I don't scuff my brand new merchandise.